Hello, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening. Welcome to class, everyone.
Yeah. How's your day today?
Yeah, good, Kingsley. Thanks for asking.
Yeah.
All right, so finally we are starting Linux. Technical training starts today, even though we had an overview the last time. All right, so let's start. You can see my white screen, my screen, right? Saying welcome to class.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so we'll start from there. So we are recorded sessions to be shared 2 hours after class. We have that ready later today. All right, so welcome to Linux. What is Linux? Linux is an operating system. And what do we mean by operating system? Operating system, we mean that, mind your background noise so it doesn't interrupt. So by operating system, we mean that every machine, whether that machine is in the form of hardware or software, in other words, virtual, whether it is real or virtual, it has to have the first software running in the hardware that makes this system a computer. So computer is hardware and software working together. All right. So the hardware, when we say hardware, it means the physical components of the machine that you can see. But that alone does not make the computer. It has to have operating software running. All right. So software, which means the part that you cannot see, software, the part you cannot see. And then hardware, the parts that you can see, you can feel and touch. So together it forms your computer. So for software to run, there has to be a foundational software on which all the other software will run. That foundational software without which no other software can run on that computer is generally called the operating system. And at your end, the most common operating system everywhere that we know is Windows. Windows operating system. So Windows is used at the end of the client that is the computer that fetches some service from another computer. Whereas on the server side, we don't use Windows normally. We use Linux operating system. All right, Linux. So Linux is usually run on the server side, while Windows is run on the client side. When we say client server, it means that there is one computer somewhere that is providing service to other computers, usually through the internet. This other computer that has the service, for example, the web page that you are connecting to is called the server. And this other computer that is connecting to that web page to fetch to that website, to fetch a web page is called the client. So the client is requesting something from the server, and the server is giving something to the client computer. You, as the user, you are usually connected to the client, and you are requesting for maybe what is today's date, maybe today's news, maybe whatever it is that you are requesting from this server, you are requesting from your own computer. That's your computer is the client. So this server would normally almost certainly so run a Linux-based operating system, or simply a Linux operating system. Whereas this client would always normally run a Windows operating system. You get that? So because we are training you to become engineers, our interest is not on this side, because you probably have been doing that all your life. What we are training you for is to be able to set up servers, work with servers, and configure servers so that they can become useful to clients all over the world. So our interest is what? Linux. operating system because our interest is server. So to begin to learn servers, how servers operate, how you can begin to set up all kinds of servers for your prospective employer, you want to first of all learn the operating system that servers use, and that is Linux as an operating system. All right, so do you get the place of Linux now as an operating system? What other kind of, we need to make this class interactive so that I know how you are learning. So if you don't have noise in your background, I suggest you unmute so that you can at least give me a feeling that somebody is listening to me. All right, so aside Linux operating system, what other kind of operating system do you know?
We have the Mac operating system.
Okay, within the context of class, within Mac is proprietary, it belongs to Apple. Apple is not public, so we hardly mention that. Yes,
okay.
it's an operating system, it's valid, but for class purpose, what are the popular operating system? Publicly available operating system that you can have on. All right, so they are Linux.
Can we say Unix?
Linux, and I appreciate your contribution, but you are bringing in what you already knew before you came to class. I'm talking about what we are learning right now. So Linux and what? Windows. Those are the two that I mentioned.
Or Windows, okay.
Yes, Windows, Linux and Windows. So where is Linux used as distinct from where Windows is used? Windows.
Linux is used on the server end, Windows is used from the client end.
Thank you. Server and then client. All right. And why is Linux of interest to us instead of Windows? Because we'll be working with servers.
Because we'll be working with servers, yeah.
All right, so we are engineers. That'll be manufacturing, developing, provisioning, deploying that service that will ultimately come to the client. All right, so let me take you around Windows, which, like I said, everybody should be used to, but let's see, file manager, and let's do, yeah, anything. So let me share my screen. Please monitor the group. If there's anybody with having issues, let me know so that I mean the WhatsApp. So share screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes.
So what you see here is folders. So this is a folder called Advanced DevOps. This is another folder called Advanced Kubernetes. This is a folder called Project. This is a folder called Downloads. In Linux, we don't necessarily call folders. We give them a different kind of name. They are called directories. So when I say folder in Windows, the equivalent in Linux will be directories. So look at me, I'm opening this. To open this so that I can see the content, I double click. Now I'm seeing the content of that folder, right? In Linux, it's a blank screen. It's not a graphic user interface like we are seeing right here. Of course, you are going to see it. It's not. Somebody please share the link to class on the WhatsApp group, please, so that people can click and come to class on the WhatsApp group. Somebody helping with that?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay, thank you. All right. So let me open this. Can you see this yellow briefcase? If I open that by double clicking, I have opened that folder. All right. So these are the things we'll be doing in Linux, because Linux is not graphic user interface. Linux is command line interface. Graphic user means that I can see stuff and I can point to them with my mouse and click. That is not available in Linux. All right. So in Linux, in order to create a folder here, I'm going to do this. This is how to create a folder. Using my graphic user interface, I say new, and I say folder, and I give it a name, maybe Akin, for example. I have created a folder. But in Linux, Linux is going to be something like this. All right? This is command line interface, CLI, command line interface. So here I do not have graphics to click. So all I'm left with is to enter a command, enter commands that will do. I thought somebody was sharing. Did you share?
Yes, it's already shared.
Okay, so why are these people still saying they can come?
Because you're still signing to join, that's the problem.
Oh, are you in now yesterday?
This is me. I actually used my phone. I wanted to use my computer, but it was saying sign in to join. So I had to click
Please,
on
next
my
time join early so that we can resolve all these petty issues and not.
I've been trying. That's why it took me a while to get in.
Okay, at least you are in now. We thank God for that. I would like to. Okay, have you questions? Okay, somebody is happy with okay. How is that pronounced? Yeah. Please help with the people trying to come, whatever you can do, so that they don't disturb. All right. So this is called the CLI. So here I will have to enter a command that will do the equivalent of what we had earlier on the GUI. So I do not have icons to click. I must enter the command to say, for example, make directory and call it GD, for example. So this is creating a directory for me. And to create a file is a different process, and so on and so forth. So what we want to learn in Linux is how to use this command line interface, this dark screen where there are no icons, no pictures to click, to achieve everything would normally achieve, if you can still see my screen, through the use of mouse within the graphic user interface. That's essentially it. So servers would normally not have this kind of environment where you use mouse to click stuff, but they will use the command line interface. All right, any questions so far? You have an idea what Linux is?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Questions? Yeah. I'm going this low because some of you are completely new to IT. So let's just take you from there. And then before we go into practicing with Linux. All right, no problem, no question. Please don't hesitate to ask questions, especially at this early stage.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So now to use Linux, what we would normally do would be to create, to improvise, to simulate an environment where you can practice. All right. So let's share my. Okay. So we'll normally create an environment within our machine, maybe our laptop, put Linux there, and then you can practice. But no, we don't have time to, first of all, experiment and then do the real thing. What we want to do right away is to use your laptop to connect through the internet, all right, to cloud. And then in cloud, there are three major cloud providers: Amazon, AWS, Google Cloud Platform, and then Microsoft's Azure. These are the three most popular commercial cloud providers. But this being the most popular and having the greatest share of the market, and therefore being what most employers use, we are going to use this.
Okay.
We're going to launch into cloud with AWS, using AWS, and we are going to set up a server in AWS. That's what employers are looking for. People who can do live things. So we're using the live instance to set up our Linux server and begin to practice in cloud right away. Normally, this is something we'll reserve and hide from you until you go into cloud. But like I said, so much to learn is only 2 times. So let's go straight. So what we're going to do now is go into cloud. specifically into AWS. When we get there, we are going to create a cloud account for you using AWS. If you have not already done, if you don't already have one. That cloud account will allow you to run many AWS services free of charge for 1 year. Free account for 1 year. So that way you can practice your Linux, you can practice your free for 1 year. And then you can practice, basically the curriculum that we are going to cover within Linux and even what we are going to cover within AWS. Be able to practice most of them for free, right? So once we're able to do that, then we're going to set up a server in cloud just with 5 clicks of the button. We have a server in cloud, and then we have a server running Linux operating system, and then we'll start to practice our Linux. By the end of today, you should at least be able to run some 10, 15 commands, and then you should be able to confidently say, yeah, I know what it means. All right. Okay, these are the preambles I can think of right now. Yes, please.
Okay. After the 1 year free access to the account, how much is the consequence used for the?
Yeah, we'll talk more about that in AWS. We're just sneaking you through the back door into AWS now.
All right. Thank you.
We'll get to that course. We'll talk about it properly.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. So now let us go into cloud using AWS and then set up our server and run that. All right. So can you see my screen?
I have a question.
Please go and ask.
Okay. I do have AWS accounts, and I do have like a credit on it already. Yeah. If we start with the Linux, is it going to utilize the credits on the account?
No, I would not be able to tell. I don't know what kind of account that is. So let's just go with the free one, as long as they are not charging you. It's completely free of charge. And then after you have worked with the free one, go back to your existing account, run the same services, and then compare, see if they are charging you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, because you could have used the account for 2 years, 3 years. So that's why. Instead of asking you all those questions to troubleshoot, let's just do the other. Okay. So can you see so you come to your browser, whatever browser you use, whether internet, in this case, I'm using Google Chrome. So I come to my browser and I type here aws.amazon.com. That is the URL for your AWS class. So you type that and then it brings you here. So here, instead of sign in, if you do not already have an account, it's going to say sign up for a new account. All right, so in that one is showing AWS console. Let me look for where I can sign up for fresh account. I can actually still do it here. I'm just looking for sign up, not sign in. All right, so let me scroll down and say create a new AWS account. So you click that. I mean, wherever you find it, it just happens to be here in my own case. It's everywhere. But you would normally find it on the home page if you do not already have an account. So you click this. And then you complete this form, enter a valid email address, and then complete this form. It's just like signing up for a new email address. It's so simple. All right. So whatever email address you want to attach to this account, provide that email address. It's going to be Akin Aregbesola at gmail.com, for example. You put that in gmail.com, and then you say verify address, and so on and so forth. Right? So go check your email, copy the code that was sent to your email, and come and paste it. All right? Then just takes you have your manual already?
Yes.
So if you flip through your manual, you see what it should take you through here, and then just 3, 4.
Yeah, I did
more
the
forms.
process already.
Yeah, that's fine. So everyone understands that, right?
Yes.
Okay, I got that, May. Any other? Oh, yeah, May. Okay. Any other person who are you all comfortable with that? Setting up your fresh AWS account?
Yes.
Okay, everyone is happy with that. Okay. All right, so once you complete that, your AWS account is set up. And then you come back here once all of that is done. It's already in your manual how to do it. Come back to the very beginning, AWS. And then this time it will be showing, it's asking me to complete what I started, but I don't want to because I already have so many accounts in that. So in that case, in this case, I'll be clicking sign in to my cloud. And then okay, here. All right. So the email address that you use to create the account will be displayed there. And then, of course, you would have entered your password at some stage. Enter that password here. Okay. And then you sign into your account. This is cloud, AWS cloud. Cloud by itself is so wide, over 2,000 different services here. But we'll talk about this when we get to cloud proper, AWS. What we just came here to do now is to borrow the services of AWS to set up a server. To set up a server, we come here, we say EC2. We search for EC2. And then we'll find EC2. What is EC2? EC2 is the name that AWS calls its server, virtual server. All right? So we'll come here and we say we want to run a virtual server in AWS. How do I hide this one? Okay, so we look for EC2 and we say launch an EC2 instance. We are basically saying launch a virtual server in the cloud. So we'll click that. All right. And then let's give a name to that server. Let's call it Linux server. Linux server, for example. And then we scroll all the way, and then we take a key pair that's already created. And then we say launch an instance. So an instance or a server is now being spinned up for us in cloud. And that is the server ID. We click it. And then this is the server that we just created. All right. So the server is coming up, it's pending, it's coming up.
Mr. Atkins, sir, I had a question real quick.
Yeah, go on.
For the account for AWS, do we click I am user or we click the root user? I'm sorry.
Root.
Root, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll explain all of those details later. Yeah, just wait for me. All right. So we have our server, and then we'll have all the metadata about our server, but don't worry about all that. All we just need to do now is to connect to our server. If you are not a Linux person, this is where you will just a good word to use without being so. Okay, so, but because we are going into Linux, we are going to click this server, and we are going to say connect. And then we say connect. There are many ways to connect. Again, we are not going to all of those details for now. We'll go into the details later.
Hello.
Just EC2 instance connect.
Hello.
Connect. So right now we are connected to the server that we just created. And what we see here is our CLI that I mentioned earlier on. So through this interface,
I've been trying to, I had to set up an account.
Excuse
yeah,
me.
what you just do now, please, is listen, understand, ask questions, so that once you understand this, then you can now take your time to create your own account. If everybody is trying to create an account right now, they'll be pulling us, asking all kinds of questions. So just try and see what I'm doing. Yes. So did you understand how we got here?
Can you take it back?
I think most of us are really, for me, I think I'm confused. The part where you searched for EC2, that's where I
Okay,
missed it.
so let's do it one more time.
Take us back
So let's
to
exit.
I think yes.
Let's come back to cloud, aws.amazon.com. And then we'll say sign in. All right. It did not ask us for username and password because we're already in. So we click EC2 is what we are looking for, because that is the name that AWS calls virtual server. So we'll click EC2. What do we want to do with EC2? We want to launch a new server. So we'll click here, look at it here, launch a new server, launch an EC2. So we'll come here and we'll see launch an instance for us. We'll click launch instance. So let us provide a name for the virtual server that is about to be launched for us. Let's give it any name, any name. All right. So you can actually go ahead, but okay. There is the only other parameter you need to provide is something called keep. It's not really compulsory, but let's just fulfill your address. So we say create keep here. So you say create keep here. You should already have one since, and then don't do anything here because you don't even know what they mean. All you do is just give a name, give any name, any name, key 1, for example. All right. That's keep here. I will explain what, if I take time to explain all of this, then we'll not be doing Linux anymore. We'll be doing the difference. So let's just focus on it. So create a keep here and then say create keep here. Those are the only 2 questions you answer. And then once those 2 questions are answered, you say launch my EC2. So your EC2 is now being launched. To see your EC2, your server, you click the ID. And then it brings you here and it shows you all the EC2s that you have right here. Of course, we created one earlier on. That one is already running. This one that we just created and we called any name is just coming up. It's already running now. That was fast. All right. So very soon you are going to see that it is ready for use. You're going to see checked and passed. All right. Did you get it to that point?
Yes.
Everyone got it to that point?
Yeah,
No.
good.
All right. Somebody please help me check the group to see if anybody is waiting to come and help them come.
Mr. Atkins, sir, I had a question. So for the account, I'm trying to get to EC2, but it keeps asking me for a card detail. But I clicked the one that it was supposed to be free.
Yeah, it will still require card details, even though it's free.
Okay.
So enter your credit card or debit card details. They are not going to charge you, but it's easy. Did that answer your question?
Yes.
All right. So, yeah.
Okay. I believe after all this, you're going to send
No,
me to my watch. Because I'm not doing anything, I'm just listening to you.
You are not very clear. Was that a question?
Yeah, I said, I believe after this, you're going to send these videos to us because I'm not doing anything, I'm just listening to you. I watch what
Okay, you probably just joined. Yeah, we already said that.
Okay.
All right, so let's take one of these servers now. Let's take any of them. So we'll take any of them by clicking the ID. All right, and then we can learn more about the server from all of this. But like I normally say, that's not the interest. In fact, we don't even have to come here. We can highlight the server we want to connect to. You see this? It says connect. So we click connect. And then we don't change anything, just leave that as it is, and then you click connect. So this is your Linux, your Amazon Linux interface through which you can configure and run your Linux commands on the server. This is the interface. So whatever we are doing here now, we are doing to the server. We want to say create directory, create file, copy file, whatever we are learning here now, we are working on that server, this particular server, this same server that we created earlier on. Without Linux, then it is not possible to connect to and work on the server. It is through this interface, this command line interface, this Linux command line interface, that we're able to work with this server. If we do not know Linux, then we are not able to do anything. You got it to that point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So this is our Linux command line interface. This is what we'll be learning. We're going to be learning for the next 4 weeks how we can, what commands we can enter here to make this happen inside this server. That's what we'll be learning. Now, there are no questions. Let me take you one step further. This is connecting to the Linux machine. But right here, we are still in cloud. I'm not very comfortable working here because I'm in cloud.
Yeah.
I really want to work from my system where I'll be able to do things. You may not understand the difference now until you see. But I want to be very flexible. I want to have control, more control than being in cloud. So what I want to do now is, instead of coming to cloud, I want to be able to connect from my laptop to this machine. To do that, I'm going to download and install an SSH client. The common one is the one called, so I'm going to Google it here. There's Putty, and then there is Mobile Extern. Mobile Extern. Download for Windows. I'm sure if you are using Windows, or you download for Windows. So this is a Mobile Extern. Download Mobile Extern. So I click this. We are going to see what it does. When I click Mobile Extern, it brings Mobile Extern Home Edition, Portable Edition. So I click this Portable Edition. So it downloads. This is downloading. So it has downloaded Mobile Extern as an application for me. So every time you download an application, it downloads by default to the folder called Downloads folder. So I go to this folder, showing folder. Okay, it's already showing. And I see that it's already in my download folder. Look at what I did.
Outside. Put the light on.
Okay, so I click download and look at the file that I just downloaded. All you do is just double click. Anytime you see an executable file, a file ending with exe means executable. Just double click and it will run, it will load onto your system, and then you can now start to use it. All right. So in my own case, I already double click, it's already active. So what I just do is look for it on my system. I just search Mobile Extern, and then it comes up, I load it. All right, so this is my Mobile Extern. What does this Mobile Extern do for me? This is what it does. So I'm going to say session, I'll do SSH. I want to connect from, the Mobile Extern is on my laptop, it's not in cloud. From this, my laptop, I want to connect to that server in cloud so that I can kind of work remotely from my laptop on the server in cloud. So the first thing that it needs from me is, what is the IP address of this server that you want me to connect to? That is what it's asking me here. So I quickly go to cloud. I'm done with this. I click this. I go to cloud and I say, this is the server I want to connect to. So I click this server and I click this public IP address of the server. I copy it by clicking this. So I go back to my Mobile Extern and I paste, Control V to paste. So I provided that. All right, the next thing I provide is I'm logging into that server as EC2 user. We'll know why later, but that is the normal thing, always EC2 user. You go there and you type EC2 user here. And then one more parameter to provide. I come here and I say use private key. Earlier on, when we created a key, we called it, let's go to download. Every time we create something on the system, the default place that it goes to is download folder. Where's my download folder? So let me call it download folder. Remember this key? This
Yes.
was the key we created while we were setting up the EC2 user,
Yeah.
and we said yes.
Yeah.
So once we created it, it was downloaded for us to download folder. That's the default place. So we'll take that key. This is for now, just recognize this key as your key and padlock. Without this key, you don't be able to open the padlock that leads to the server. So it's very important. So we'll take that key and then we say open. And then now that we have the key to connect, we say okay. All right. So, okay. Okay. So that's the normal thing. However, if something is wrong here. Something is wrong. It's not connecting us. And what is wrong is that we are not using the key to the padlock. We're using a wrong key. All right. So let us correct. How that? Don't worry about how I know. Push through to that. Right. Okay. So let's correct that. So let's connect again. But this time, let's go and look for the correct key. I picked the wrong key. Okay, so let me, in fact, let us use the one that you did. Let me go back to cloud.
We can use the second server.
Yeah.
And any name.
So let us use this second server that we created, because this is where we actually created
The key. Yeah.
The first one was, yeah. So let's use this. So we'll take this, we'll take the public IP address here, we'll connect the public IP address. And what is the key for this one? If we look around, we are going to see that the name of the key is somewhere.
It's key one. You have to go down a little bit.
This is
yeah. Right here.
Yes, the key pair name.
Yeah, there are people who haven't seen this before, so let's just yeah, let me look for my pen so I can draw something. Okay, that's going to take time, but that is it. That's it. Key pair. So we're looking for Q1 now. Okay, so we copy the public IP address, and then we'll go to our mobile X step that we love so much. We'll create a session, and we say we want to create a remote session, SSH, to our server in cloud with this IP address as EC2 user, and then using the key pair that we created, Q1. This is it. This time we're using the right key, I believe. If we say okay, then we are now connected. This is the familiar command line interface for Linux. All right. This is where we'll be spending the next 4 weeks. Entering commands here.
Excuse me, sir. Can I ask a question, sir?
Server. Yeah.
Sir, can I ask a question?
Yeah, just watch out for punctuation so that you don't just jump in when I'm saying anything.
Okay, sir.
All right.
Okay.
Yes, you can.
Can I ask a question now, sir?
Yeah.
Yes. Can I ask why you decided that we log on to the Linux server from the mobile app and not directly into the AWS server?
Yeah, the effect is the same thing. No difference whether you do it through here or through there. But like I said earlier on, first of all, do you notice the space that I have here compared to the? Let's go back here. Let's try to connect through here. We'll click and we'll say connect, and then we'll say connect. It's connecting now. All right. So do you see the tiny letter? Do you see that? Because this is cloud, do you see this space? I don't have access to this space.
Yes, we can.
Compared to this one, where I have all of the space, I can increase, I can decrease, I can, yeah.
Okay.
So it's more, yeah. I mean, there's much more to that, but for now, that's one big advantage. All right. And then, of course, later on, you are going to observe that once you walk here, where's the other place? Once you walk here and you are out for about 15 minutes or even 10 minutes, this screen will normally hang. You will need to close and start the new session. So yeah, for so many reasons like that, you just want a place where you are very comfortable running it from. All right, yes. Bukola, question.
Hi, sir. So for mine, I can't use that mobile XTEM on my Mac. So I think I have to use the server.
Yes, you can use the server, fine for you. Otherwise, if you begin to see the advantages of running remote and you still want to, then I think we have it in the note, an alternative SSH client that you can use instead of mobile extend. Is it in the note?
Okay.
Yes. So you can download and use that for Mac in place of mobile extend.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
It's still the same steps and process.
Yes, same step, yeah. So straightforward, yeah. Otherwise, like the last person is going to do today, just walk from your cloud CLI. It's the same effect. Exactly the same, no different. All right. I'm sure somebody was not following and missed something in that session. Is there anything you need us to repeat before we start? We settle to begin to run Linux commands.
Hello, Mr. Aki, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I think I logged in late, so I didn't know how you guys reach where you are now.
So luckily we have the video being recorded, so yes.
Okay.
Once that is available, you'll be able to catch up with 40 minutes. We've done 40 minutes already before you join. All right, but all the same, let's revise the steps that brought us here one more time. Let's revise them one more time. There may be somebody who is not talking about who did not quite get it. All right, so where do we, let's go back to cloud. Yes, we already answered that. Somebody says unable to use the mobile screen number. Yeah, we provided the alternative format. Okay, so I close this session because I'm not really using it. And then every time we come on, we have a new lecture, we are going to set up the new EC2. We'll do it so many times that it becomes part of it. Okay, let us go through everything one more time. Okay, so let's create one more EC2. So I'm coming in fresh, and then I'm presented with this. I'm going to say launch instance. And then I say launch new instance. I provide a name for the instance. Let's call it name 1. And the only one more thing I need to provide is the key pair. You see the importance of key pair now? Without key pair, I'm not able to use SSH, or generally speaking, SSH client to connect, because it will require a key pair. So if I know that I'm going to use SSH client, I must create a key pair. And I don't need to create a new key pair every time I set up an instance. I can use an existing key pair to set up a new instance. So this key 1 that we already created, I can use it over and over and over. It does not expire. So I just take the one I already have and I say launch new instance. The new instance is being launched. I click it. If I'm going to create an SSH session, what do? I grab the public IP address. So it comes here. If I just click here, it says copy. And then I go to my SSH client. In this case, I'm using mobile XTEM. So if it wasn't already loaded, I'll search for it, mobile XTEM, and there it is. I'll click it, and then it will load here. And then I can set up the session, SSH. I provide the public IP address I copied. Here is always EC2 user. And then I provide the key, the private key is like the key. The public key is the padlock. The private key is right here. And I say, without this, I'll not be able to connect. I provide my private key, which was downloaded when it was created for me. And I say, open, and I say, okay. And there you go. I have that. So another advantage here over being in cloud is that I can set up multiple sessions easily. All right. As for downloading the mobile XTEM, all you do is just go to Google and say, Google, show me where to download mobile. So I come here and I say, Google, and I say, download. Even if you forgot the name of the app, you can say download the SSH client for Windows or something. You provide many options, and then you should recognize the particular one you're interested in. Which is a popular one, but it's, mobile XTEM is also good. right? So you click this, and then this may be taking you to. In fact, I have the URL for you, so there's no need to experiment. So that you don't go and download one that might give you. All right. Okay, so just use the URL in the note, and then you click download, and then to download. Once it downloads, go to your download folder, double click the executable file, and it's all done. All right, any question? No question. All right, so let me ask you questions then, since you don't have questions. There are broadly two common types. Yeah, okay. Just so the mark people are not left out. There are three types of operating systems. Can you name them? Broadly speaking, three types of operating system. Mac, what are the other two?
Linux and Windows.
And Windows.
Linux and Windows, correct. Windows, like somebody already said, is mostly used on the client side to fetch from server, whereas Linux is used on the server side. Somebody mentioned, where's my? Okay. So somebody mentioned Unix. So Unix, let me use this. Unix is the mother operating system of Linux. All right. So it is from Unix that Linux was derived. In fact, Unix and Linux have become almost this, more like the same thing. I mean, they can be used interchangeably. That sometimes you now see in job description they say Unix, Linux, but Unix is the mother operating system from which Linux was derived. So you could say that Linux is the open source version of Linux. Okay. Open source means that it's generally available and it's community supported. All right, so you don't have to buy. However, some variants of Linux, some distros of Linux are supported. So in that case, even though you are not buying the operating system because it's already open source, you may be buying the support, and therefore you may need to subscribe. For example, Red Hat Linux. Red Hat is one distribution of Linux, and Linux is open source, and there are many variants, many distributions. The different variants of Linux are called distros or distributions in one. All right, so you are going to see things like Red Hat, CentOS, Ubuntu, and so on and so forth. Because it's open source, any group can take the kernel, just modify it, and then call it a different name, right? So SUSE, Ubuntu, Red Hat,
Fedora.
Deborah? Fedora, yeah.
Mint.
Debian, Mint, yes.
Linux Mint, yeah.
Yes. But there is really no difference between Fedora, Red Hat, they are the same thing. Red Hat, Mint, fundamentally the same thing. All of this. All right. So there are many of them. You could count hundreds of them, but that's not the important thing. If you just know how to use Linux, it's fundamentally the same. Where there are differences, especially between, at some advanced stage, we are going to change over to Ubuntu. All right. So this will be one kind of Linux. Even your Amazon Linux falls in this category. Amazon Linux, which we are using in Amazon Cloud. And so on and so forth. Ubuntu is the one that is using a different repository system. And again, we'll talk about that. Let's not complicate. Yeah, I'm just giving you the theoretical overview now. So at least, apart from knowing the commands and what they do, you should be able to interact at the level of being a Linux user, so that when somebody is talking about a different distro, you know what role it plays and where you are. So Linux is open source. It's not like Microsoft or Microsoft. It's not like Mac. that is highly proprietary and you have to get their product to be able to use it. Anybody can do Linux. There are over 100, at least 100, maybe 300 different distros of Linux. They are not all popular. The popular ones are the ones that you just mentioned. All right. So for now, because we are Amazon Cloud, we'll be using Amazon Linux, but there is no difference in command between Amazon Linux and this other. They are all the same. All right. So your resume, just mentioning one of these is okay. You don't have to mention all of them. That you can use that, as well as, of course, like I said, at some advanced level when you get to, I think when we get to DevOps.
Excuse me, sir. Do you mean that we can use all these servers in place of Linux, Red Hat, CentOS, Fedora?
Yeah, I'm saying that the Linux commands we are going to learn right now, that we'll
Okay.
start to learn in 5 minutes, they are applicable to all of these. The same command, same Linux commands apply.
Hello, Mr. Akin, what about Kali? What category?
Yeah, Kali is also, yes, another distro. It's another distro of Linux, but it's not in this category. Kali is kind of, it's mostly for developers, people who have great understanding of how systems work. They will prefer to do Kali. You know, even though they are all Linux, they have their weak points and their strong points. For example, Ubuntu is mostly in production environment. So as you move closer and closer to production and ready for job, then you must know this. Kali is mostly for developers who want to be able to control the hardware components of the server. So, well, essentially they are, yeah, that's also one of them, Kali. And then Mint, and then like all the other ones. How many can you mention? There are so many. We'll see them in class. Yeah. But for our purpose, just any of these, because they are the same, and this one, you'll be able to claim at the end in your resume. But it doesn't mean that if they give you Kali, you'll not be able to do at least 70% of the work. Then the other 30%, you may need to know specifically what commands Kali has for those functions that this one may not necessarily. Yeah, any other question? All right. So as a corporate, remember we talked about corporate networks the last time? A corporate IT engineer, between a corporate IT engineer and an enterprise IT engineer, who should earn more money and why?
Enterprise.
Enterprise.
Yeah. All right. Why?
Because it's a larger.
Because they use Linux server, right?
Because you use Linux, okay?
Because you tend to do more since it's a larger. What's the word I should use?
It's a larger network, a bigger network. Yeah. Yes, control. Yes. Okay, so we'll go. Oh, the echo. Somebody saying something?
I was saying that I think the corporate should earn more money.
Corporate? Why?
Yeah, because the enterprise is a subset of the corporate. I would think.
The enterprise is what?
It's a subset. It's
okay. I think you are mixing them up. I think it's the other way around.
Oh, okay.
What you are calling the corporate is actually the enterprise. So the corporate is a subset of the enterprise.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, same answer. So you all agree. Yeah, valid answers. It's a bigger network, therefore bigger. I mean, more job roles, because like, yeah, all answers are correct. So since one is a subset of the other one, then the person who is doing on the other, you have more. And then the mention of Linux as part of your answer. Yes, I love that one. Yeah. All right. So yeah, if there's any other thing you need to know as part of the preamble. I'll share with you if I remember. But for right now, let's go and start to learn Linux. Are we ready to start Linux?
Yes.
Okay, let's go.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's start Linux. So let's share that. So here we are. So let's start. Can you see my screen? So clear is a command. It's a Linux command because we'll be learning Linux command. What does it mean? It means clear the screen. So if I type something that is not a Linux command that Linux does not recognize, it's going to tell me bad command not found, which is another name for bad command. So you need to learn. If I say make directory, tell me bad command. If I say clear the screen, CLS, bad command. All right. So then what are the good commands? That's what we're going to learn. One good command is clear. It means clear the screen. This is what it does. You clean the screen just cleared. All right. So I could do ls. What's ls?
List.
ls means
Files.
sorry.
List of files.
Okay, so you already know it, eh?
I'm trying to catch up.
All right. So ls means show me the content of this directory. So what directory are we on, by the way? Print working directory or present working directory. Oh, sorry. Print working PWD. Show me the present working directory. So it's telling me right now I am operating from a directory called EC2 user. This EC2 user is sitting on another directory called home. And this home is sitting on the root directory. That's the meaning of this statement. All right, so the hierarchy of directory is like this. Let me show you. All right, so this is how directories are arranged. You remember what directories are? Folders.
Yeah.
Directories are folders. So we are saying that in Linux, there is a root directory. It is on this foundation that all the directories and file systems are built. There is nothing below this. This is the last directory. So this is called the root. But the root is not written in full. It is written with this sign. That sign, the back, front slash, forward slash. That sign. All right. So if on the root directory, I have another directory called home, this home directory. And then on top of this directory, I have another directory called EC2 user. That's what we are saying. So this whole directory now, if I want to write this one now, I'm going to write it as EC2 I'm going to write it as EC2 user on top of home, on top of root. So this is already root. So this means the root directory has home directory on top and has this is what I'm representing. So if I have another directory on top, let's say we'll call it the ITern. Then that one is going to be in front of EC2 user, saying that the ITern is a directory which is on EC2 user, EC2 user is on home, and home is on root. All right, so let's go and do that now. So let's go back to our CLI. So when we do ls, it means there is nothing inside this directory, it's empty. Now let us create a folder inside this directory. To create a folder, the command is make directory and call it Henry, or like I said, theITern. Right, so we created a directory, theITern. If I now do ls,
I can't see the screen, sir. I can only see the whiteboard.
Okay, so share screen, yeah. Okay, can you see the screen?
Yes.
Yeah, so this was what I had before you Why you couldn't see this? So I make directory. So this the command make directory, then the name of the directory. So last time I did ls, it showed nothing. But after I created the directory, when I did ls, it now showed me that there is a directory called the ITern inside where? Inside here, because the last time we said, show me the working directory where we are. That was what it showed. In fact, we can do it again. Print working directory. All right. So it tells us this is where we are. So the item that we just created as a directory, where is it located? It's located in here. Yeah. So to move to that directory, to change our present working directory from our current place, to open this door and go into that room, the command is change directory. Change directory to what? To this directory, the item. All right. So your prompt is now showing the item. Earlier on, it was not showing the item. The fact that it's showing the item now tells you that you are now in the item directory. So at this level, if you say, show me, take a look around the room, ls, you are not going to see anything. There is nothing in there. Okay, right? So this is how to move from a lower directory to a higher directory. Let's do one more. Let's create, since there is nothing inside, let's create another directory inside. The command is make directory. What name do you want to give to the directory? Let's say student. So we have created a directory student.
So we write, excuse me, sir, we write make directory student enter.
Yes, enter, always enter.
Okay.
Yeah.
And question, is there going to be space? Do we put
Yes.
space or just together?
Exactly like this. Anything other than this is wrong command to know what. So make directory space, then student. All right. So if we now do ls, we are going to see that earlier on there was nothing inside, but now that we have created a directory student, there is now student inside. How do we move from this level into? It's like we're on the hallway now. So we have a door labeled student. We want to open that door and go inside. How do we do it? Change directory. That's the command. To what? To student. All right. Again, we now have student showing in place of that was showing earlier on. All right. So where are we now? Let's see. Where are we? Where in the world are we in this base? The command is print working directory. And then to tell you that you are actually inside a directory called student, and student is on another directory called the ITern. That one is on top of EC2. EC2 is a directory on top of home, and home is a directory on the root.
On the root.
Beyond the root, no other directory exists. That is the last place. That's the meaning of root. All right. Now let us begin to go back. We'll be moving forward. From here, we created this and we came here. From there, we created this and we came here. All right. If we want, we can keep building the story building for as high as we want it to be. All right. But right now, let's take a break there and begin to move backward from that point. The command to move backward from student. If we move backward from student, where are we going to? We are going into the item. So to move from that floor, that level, to this level, the command is cd space. You press enter, and then it tells you, well, I am no longer in the directory student. I'm now in the directory the item. And then it's showing that. Without even you doing PWD, you already know that you're in the item, but you can PWD, and then you see that you moved one step away from student to the item. All right. So I want to move one more step away from the item into EC2. What's the command? cd space dot enter. We say print working directory. We are going to see that we have moved one step away from the item into EC2. And that's why you are seeing only EC2. All right, let's clear the screen so we can clear. I mean, look at the spelling, wrong spelling. Anything other than the correct spelling is wrong command, bad command. You do not want. So your spelling must be correct. All right.
Jack,
so
and
what
how-
are we? Yes.
How do you know the different commands that you have to put? How do you know the different commands?
Yeah, that's why we're
PWD.
learning them. We're
Okay.
learning them, and that's what I'm showing you. This is how to know them by learning them. Yeah.
I have
Excuse
a-
me, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're trying to tell us this is how to set up directories on the server,
Yes.
which are folders in the Windows.
Yes. Correct.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, let's start from there. Then later on, we'll know how to create files, put files there, move files from place to place. So that's the whole management of files and servers. Files and directories in the servers.
Okay, I have a question.
Yes.
So can we say that it's case sensitive? I mean, if we use
Yes, it's case sensitive, but we'll get there.
Okay, all right.
All right. So right now we are in EC2 user. Okay, so who can tell us now? Who can show us how to move one step back from EC2 user to home? What's the command?
CD.
Correct. That is how to learn it. So how do I know where I am?
PWD, print working directory.
Correct. Awesome. All right, so we're in home now. We moved one step out of EC2 to home. Correct. All right, I still want to move one step out of home. If I move one step out of, first of all, how do I move one step out of home?
CD.
Dot.
Space.
Correct.
Space dot.
So how do I know where I am?
PWD.
All right. So where am I now? What was this?
The route.
The root.
Sorry?
The root.
Yeah, that's the root directory. All right. How do I take one step out of the root directory?
CD dot.
So where would I be now that I'm one step out of the root directory?
EC2.
There's nowhere to go. Root is the last.
You're still in the root.
Is the last.
When the root.
Root is the last place. So if I like, I do CD dot from now to tomorrow. There's no other place to go. That's the last. So this is sign for root.
Question, sir.
Yes.
Like if we make a mistake in creating the directory, like
yeah, we can rename. Yes, we'll get there. Let's just take it step by step. If you give it a wrong name, you can change the name. All right. So if we don't take it step by step, we'll miss the yes.
Can we start this process again while we create a new directory and leave it and then on top of it? Okay,
let's quickly do it. So let's make there's a problem. There's a problem. Now let's list the where are we? Let's see what the content of where we are. LS, right?
Yes.
All right. So look at so many. In fact, there's a better way to list this. Instead of showing horizontally, I can say list it vertically. LS, then I do -L. It shows me what it showed me like this earlier on. It's now showing it like this. Is it not better?
Yes.
So ls minus l is the command to have it listed differently.
Yes, ls is the command, then the -L is the switch, the option to make it appear this way. Vertically,
It's
-L.
-L.
Yeah. So hyphen, whatever is the option, you just we'll use a lot of it. But yeah, so the regular command, the command is ls.
Ls.
Yeah, you can now use the option -L to make it appear exactly like, okay. Now, of course, this is better because this does not just show the name of the directory, it also gives you other details that you'd have been entering commands to find out later on. But okay, now look, there is a directory here called var, usr, temp, sys, run, lots of directories, system directories. Hopefully, by the time you are done with DevOps, you will know what all of these directories do. etc, which is a popular one, and so on and so forth. Now, the person who asked that question, as an EC2 user, but let's do it. So what you were asking is that we'll start the process by creating ls minus l. Let's do it. Let's make directory. Who has the question? Okay, don't worry. Let's call it Henry. I wanted to use your name. So it says permission denied. That's what I was trying to explain to you. As EC2 user, you only have permission to work from your own directory, not anywhere else. So this is root directory. You cannot work from root directory. You cannot work from var directory. You cannot work from any other directory other than EC2 user directory. If you attempt to work anywhere else, you would have permission denied.
You'll be denied.
Okay. So in order for us to do this, to be able to do what you expect, we must be in the directory where we have permission. So as EC2 user, we must be in EC2 directory. Every user has a directory. Do you remember where EC2 directory is housed in this directory system, in this hierarchy?
Yes.
Where is it?
It's in the home.
Correct. So we say CD home. So we're now in home directory. Let us attempt one more time to make directory Henry. It still says permission denied. What's the problem?
Again, you can only work in EC2 directory.
Yes, the problem is EC2 user is not allowed to work
Not permitted.
here. It's not permitted to work here. Then where is the place where EC2 user has permission to do whatever he likes? Only in his own home directory. All right?
Yes.
The home directory of the user. If the user was Henry, then he would only be able to work from Henry directory. If the user was Ade, he would be able to work. He would only be able to work from Ade. So he has to be in the home directory of the user. All right. So now let's go to the home directory of the user. Who is the user? EC2. ls minus l minus l. Okay. So is it not the directory for EC2 user? So now let's go into that directory. How do you go there? Is that correct?
CD dot.
All right. Yeah. So this sign is called tilde.
Tilde. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So this is the sign that tells you that this user, EC2 user, is now in his home directory. So from now on, whatever you do, you'll be allowed. You have permission to do whatever you want. But in case you are not convinced, you can just say print working directory. Then it tells you that you are now in EC2 directory. And who is the user? EC2. So EC2 user is now operating from EC2 directory. EC2 user directory. Awesome. So this is where you have full permission. So we can now say make directory Henry. Correct. CD Henry. Correct. Make directory Dick. Correct. Make directory, that's not the command. The command for make directory is make directory. CD Dick. Correct. Make directory Tom. Correct. CD Tom. Correct. Print working directory. I'm in Tom, which is on Dick, which is in Henry, which is in EC2 user, and so on and so forth. Was that what you wanted?
Mr. Akin, what does CD mean again?
Yes, exactly.
Change
I wanted to ask
directory.
that question.
Change
I have a question, Mr. Akin.
Yeah, but we're still answering one. Did you get that? CD means change directory.
So why are you making directory and changing directory?
We are learning how to work in with servers now. So these are the basic things because
okay, because I was like, make directory term, change directory term. I was like, why are we changing?
Do you know what directories are? They are the places where you save your files. So
okay,
before we even start to create files, we are creating folders.
okay.
Were you here when we saw the example of folders in Windows environment? Were you in class then? Yeah. Okay. All right.
So
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
When you say make directory Henry and change directory Henry, what process are we doing? Did we make
Okay,
directory?
so when we say make directory, John.
Directory for Henry. A directory
So
for
can you see this? No, hold on, let me explain. Make directory, John. So what I'm doing now is I'm creating a new directory called John on top of Tom.
Okay.
So that directory has been created. You are not convinced? Let me show you. ls -l. Look at the directory we just created.
Okay.
All right. So now I'm at the corridor, like I said, on the hallway. To go into John now, I'll now change directory to John.
Okay.
Correct. That's it. We are now inside John. Yeah,
Right,
that was a
so-
bit fast. Yeah.
So the ls -l made us see that we made a directory for John. But when
Yeah,
you
it
go
made us see
up,
the content.
yeah, when you go up, you said show me, which is ls -la.
No, don't worry. You know, I know all these commands, so I don't want to rush you through all of them. Let me just be taking them one by one. Don't worry about that.
Cool.
Yeah, I will explain that one after you have understood. So, you know, first of all, we started with ls, and then I now introduced -a, right? You understand it to that level?
Yes.
Okay, don't worry about the rest. There are many options. We'll be introducing them one by one. All right, so now that we're inside John, let's do print working directory, and we say that we're inside John. All right, so somebody quickly create a new directory for us on top of John. Make directory.
Make directory Cynthia.
That was too long. Give me a short name.
John.
Matt.
Okay, make directory. Okay, Matt. Okay.
Yeah, so ls -la. Oh, sorry, I keep doing LA. Okay, maybe I should just explain, since I'm used to LA, I should just explain A now. A means all. Show me all the content. All the content will basically mean there are hidden content I should not be seeing. I'm interested. Show them to me as well. And that is why it's showing me this content starting with dot.
Gotcha.
Anything starting with dot means that it is hidden. It's not for your eyes. It should actually be hidden. But when I say A, then it's showing even the hidden part. Why are they hidden? It's too complex for now. We'll look at it later. But for now, -l means show me all content, including the hidden ones. That's what it means. And this one is starting with
why do we have to see the hidden ones if we're just concerned about
exactly why I didn't want to show it to you earlier on, because I'll have to be explaining a lot of things. So don't worry about LA. That was my mistake. Let's say ls -l. Okay. Forget about my A. All right. So we can quickly take us into math now. CD math. All right. So print working directory. All right. Let's begin to go back step by step now and start deleting directory. We want to learn new command now. We created all of these directories. Let's start to delete them one by one. All right. To delete directory, the command is remove directory. What's the name of the directory you want to remove? Math. Yeah. But this will not work because right now we are in the directory math, right? And we are trying to remove the same directory. How can you be in the house and burn the house and destroy the house? Get out of the house first, get out of the room, and then you can now destroy it. So the thing we should have done was
CD John.
CD John. Yes, CD John. But we don't put it like that. We'll now say CD ...
Dot.
That's the same as CD one step to John. Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. Your idea is correct, literally, but in ls how are we doing? I mistakenly press on print working directory. Okay. So to destroy math, we say CD ... So we're now in John, like that person suggested. So now that we're in John, we can now throw our bomb to destroy math, right? The command to destroy math is
RM
directory. rmdir. And what's the name of the directory? Math.
Math.
That is it. If you do ls minus l, math is no longer there. Awesome. So who can quickly teach us to destroy John, to remove John?
CD dot dot.
CD dot dot, yes.
Yeah.
And then RM.
RM
directory.
John.
Space John.
Correct. If we do ls minus l, John is no longer there. So
CD dot dot.
CD dot dot. What are we trying to remove now?
Tom.
Tom.
Tom, correct. Tom. All right.
CD
To remove
dot
Tom
dot.
would be CD dot dot. Yes.
Dot.
Yeah.
RM RMDIR.
RMDIR.
Tom.
So Tom is inside there. So remove Tom will be RMDIR, Tom. And if we do ls minus l one more time, Tom is no longer inside there. Awesome. All right. So ls minus l. What do we have here? PWD, yes. All right. So what's the next directory to remove?
Dick.
Dick. Okay. So how do we remove this?
CD
space dot dot.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Okay.
Is there any way we can remove all the, I don't know whether it's called file or what, like you remove.
You don't even know the name yet. So let's know the
name.
name first before we now start to run. Let's be working. Let's just be taking one step. Yeah, there are ways. There are ways. Sorry to cut you, but there are ways. But let's just learn this one first. Let's just deliberately repeat all of these ones until we get used to the name, what is directory, what is, and then we'll now take it.
So, please, sir, what does PWD stand for again?
Print working directory or present working directory.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So the person who asked that question, please help me remove Dick now. What do we do to remove it?
CD.
The person who wanted to remove everything at once. Let me remove this one first before you. Oh, yeah.
CD space dot dot.
And what do you want to remove?
Dick.
Henry.
No, we don't want to remove Henry because we still have.
Okay.
If Dick want to remove, yeah.
Dick.
Okay. So what do we do now?
You
DR.
Dick.
Space
Dick.
Dick.
It's Dick, right? Okay.
Right.
All right. Awesome. Okay. Somebody help us remove Henry.
CD space dot dot.
CD space dot dot.
LS.
RM.
LS.
Okay. Just to see. LS minus L.
LS minus L.
Minus L.
RM. Okay.
Okay. Remove directory.
Remove directory. All right.
All right. Then we still have one more directory. Do you still remember?
The intern.
On the same floor, we have that. You want to remove that?
The intern. Okay.
LS minus L.
Directory. Okay. Yeah, it's already there. We're on the same floor.
Oh, okay.
So we don't need to. Yeah. Remove directory. LS minus L. Yeah, it's there. So why is it not going? What did we do wrong?
We are inside. It appears that we are inside the intern.
Yeah. So let's do it again.
It's not empty.
Oh, it's not empty. Okay.
Yeah.
So CD, it should be empty. Okay, let's see the item. LS minus LA. Oh, it's not empty. You are right. You are right. So directory must be empty for you to delete it. You must first of all remove whatever is inside the directory before you can remove the directory. All right. Correct. Good observation. So CD student. Just to see what's inside you. That's how. What's inside? Nothing? All right, so nothing inside. So we are free to start to remove. So to remove CD, okay.
RM.
So we have to remove RM.
Yes. So let's see if we can remove
CD space dot dot.
Yeah, let's see if we can remove everything. Let's CD dot dot. CD dot dot. LS minus L. All right. So what do we have?
We have
so to remove students. Let's say what's the part name
now? Now we can remove student.
Now let me teach you down. Okay. So let's go back to what we are used to. So let's remove directory student. It's gone. So cd dot dot. Then what?
Remove direct.
the intern. Remove the intern.
Correct. Remove
RMDIR.
The students. Yes, sir.
the intern.
The
Correct.
intern.
Good. So now you know how to create directory and remove directory. Awesome. Now, what are we? Print working directory. If we wanted to go straight home, if we wanted to go home from here, will be cd dot dot, right? Now we're in EC2. Then we're in home, cd dot dot. Now we're in
Mr.
root.
Akin.
If we wanted to go to root, we'll do cd dot dot many times till we get to root, right?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. But there's a command to go straight to root from wherever you are.
Right.
So let's say cd all the way here without moving. Let's take the elevator and go all the way straight without stopping here first. Yeah. So we just copy that and put here. By the way, to copy, just highlight here and then right click here. That's all. Don't do copy and paste. Just highlight and right click. All right. So
Highlight and double
we
click.
have highlight and right click your mouse.
Okay, right click. Yeah.
Okay. So we are here now. So print working directory. So we are here. So if we wanted to go all the way to root from here without coming here first and coming here first, the command will be cd root. That's root. Change directory to root. So irrespective of where you are, whether you're on the 5th floor, on the 7th floor, on the 15th floor, it will just take you straight to root. And how do I know I'm in root? This one, root is showing. And if you're not convinced, then it's print working directory. So that's related to the question somebody was asking.
When we click, when we type in the print working directory, so the directory is directly under it. Like the
print working directory
like
just shows you where you are. Where in this directory maze are you? That's what it shows. Print working directory
Do you
tells
need
you.
to have a slash when you're removing someone from the server? Because I've noticed some of them have slashes on them, like the one up top, it says cd is slash. Do you have to have a slash with it?
To do what?
To just, I've noticed some of the commands that have like slashes in them. Well, earlier.
Well, I'm not sure what
the change direct, but the change director.
Can you see
like,
this one? Yeah, don't worry about that.
Yes.
We'll get it. This one means change directory to root. Not home, to root directory. Yeah. And that is why after we entered, it took us to root from here. The normal thing would have been to change directory from EC2 user to home, and then change directory from home to root. But with a single command, we are combining those two to say change directory straight from here to root, and tells us we are now in the root directory. So this is called navigation. Now you know how to navigate, how to move from one directory to another, go up, come down, go sideways. As far as directory is concerned, you are now able to navigate.
Sir,
all right,
sorry, sir. Is it possible to list all these commands in a note where we can study them?
Of course, you don't have your note yet. Everything's already in your note. Do you have your note?
Yeah, I'm going to look at it now.
Oh, you have not even looked at it. Everything I'm teaching is already in the note. Everything I'm teaching is already in the note. So just copy from your note and paste. All right. All right, so let's move on. So at the root directory, these are all of the directories that I can see that are available actually. All right. So let's go into the only place where we can work. Any of these places we cannot work, so no need to deceive ourselves. Really. So this is the only place where our EC2 is. So let's go there. So do you understand this command?
Change direction.
So why don't we just enter command straight away instead of first of all going into home? And then from home, you're now going to EC2. Why don't you just enter that full path name? Will it work?
Let's try.
All right. It worked.
Yeah.
So that is how to move. You can give the path name, what path name, and then take you straight to where you are going instead of branching at every bus stop before you get. Just straight. Just give the full path name. All right. So any question? We're done with directory. Now I want to move into something else. I want to go into files. Any question with directory? Or anything for that matter?
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, when you say change directory, will you put the cd ... then remove directory? Or I'm a little bit confused.
So what are we now? Can you see what? Can you tell me what we are now?
Yes.
What are we?
The ls.
So right now, print working directory tells us that we are in the directory EC2 user, which is in the directory home, which is in the root directory. The root directory is where all directories germinate from. So on top of the root directory, we first had the home directory. Then inside the home directory, we now have EC2 directory. All right. Now, if we wanted to create a directory, we'll be creating here right now, we'll be creating it on top of EC2 user. So let's quickly create a directory. The command to create a directory is make directory. That's the command.
Yes.
And then what's the name of the directory you want to create? IO, for example. So we've created a directory IO inside EC2 user directory. To check what you have there, list the content. And you see that the only thing you have inside EC2 user directory is IO. Now, this is where you use CD now. CD IO means go into IO, change directory to IO. Take me from here into the directory IO. Get me off this ground where I'm standing now into this room. That's the meaning of CD IO. And when you press enter, it tells you that I have actually transformed you, I have moved you away from that directory into this directory. You are now in the directory IO. That's why IO is showing here. So that's the meaning of change directory. Change directory to whatever you want to do.
Yes.
You got it now?
Yes.
All right.
Quick question.
So make directory is one command, change directory is another command. They are not, you don't use them together. One command at a time. Yes.
Okay, so the other time you said it's tilde, it actually means that you're home, right?
Yes, you are
okay.
Tilde means in the home directory of the user.
Can I see the tilde?
No, because you're already there. Tilde
No,
is not
even if I'm not there, if I'm probably at the root.
Oh, okay. If you are, yeah.
Can I see the tilde?
Yeah, let's do it. So see the root. So you are in root now, right? Can you see that you are in root?
Yes, I can see that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your question is, can you just see the tilde? Yes, you can. It takes you
straight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah. Correct. Good one. So what's the equivalent of CD theta? Would have been CD. What's the equivalent?
That would be CD root the //home/EC2 user.
Correct. So that's matter. It's matter to do CD tilde than to do this. Correct. Good one. If it's not already in your notes, yes, you should. Yes.
I didn't quite get that.
Yeah, many commands in one day. But did you get this? Do you? Okay, CD. Yeah.
What does the tilde stand for? I get the CD tilde, but yes, CD home, yes.
EC2 user. All right, so tilde stands for this. Remove all of this, put tilde is the same thing.
Okay.
You get it?
Yes.
Yes. So if we enter this, press enter, we'll get the same result if we just enter CD here. It's the same thing. Exactly the same. So it means that tilde means / home / EC2 user.
Can we see
Not
the result
always.
of that CD /home/EC2 user?
Okay, so to see the result, let us.
Yes.
Okay, let's do it. /home / EC2 user. Press enter. So it's the same thing, no change. But to see the effect, maybe you want to go to root so that you now see the effect. Let's go to root, CD root. Now let's see what's the effect. Copy, paste. Exactly the same thing. All right. So this, can you see that you're asking me to do now? That's what I've actually left for you to experiment with so that you cannot claim the experience. But just watching me do it and asking me to do it is not your experience. You cannot claim it. But during your own practice, you now, all these ideas that are coming to you, now experiment and say, oh, okay, wow, it's the same thing. That's where you begin to gather your own experience. All right. Any more questions with directories? No questions. Okay. So let's go into files. Where are we? I know where we are. I know what tilde means. So I know where we are. But for you, in case you don't know, print working directory. This is where we are. Okay. To create a file, there are many ways to create file in Linux. There is something we call file editors already in your notes. File editors. All right. And there are 3 of them. There is
Jet is Nano.
yeah, there's Nano.
Jet,
There,
JET. Yeah. Is it JET?
There's Vim. There's VM. So what do this mean? In fact, before we even go there, let's even create a file. To create a file, let's do touch file1. That's the name of the file. What have I done? I've created a file called file1. So let's see, ls-l. Look at the file. I've created a file called file1. So touch is a command for creating an empty file. That file1 has no content. There is nothing inside. So to create an empty file, I'll just say touch. What's the name of the file? File2.
Right.
If I do ls-l, I have created file1 and file2. Let us create file3 using touch. Touch file3. ls-l. You see how to create files, empty files? Very easy.
I thought you said we call them directories, sir, not file.
We are done with directories. We are creating files now.
Oh, okay.
Directory is the place where you save files. To create directory, you say make directory. To create directory, you say make directory, but to create
make files, you say touch files.
Yes, this is one of the many ways to create files. Touch, then the name of the file.
So what about VID though?
Yeah, we'll get there. All right. Another way to create, okay, let's say ls-l. The 0 here means that there is nothing inside this file1. Let's put something inside the file1. One way to put something in the file1 is to say echo, then let's put something. Let's put something in this file. All right. And then we'll say put that, we'll put that sign into file1. So what we are saying is put this contents in file1. If we press enter, it is done. If we now do ls-l, we are going to see that file 1 now has content. Last time it was 0 content, but now it's 33. To see the content of file 1, to see the content of file 1, what is this text that is occupying 33 bytes inside file 1? The command is cat file 1. And then to tell you that the content of the file is, let's put something in this file. Yeah, what's your question?
Is the
Okay, let's do it one more time. Yeah?
Is the 33 in the file, is that just the statement that was
33 is the
total number of characters.
Number of characters inside the file. Approximately. Well, approximately for you, boys, that. Let's count. 1, 2, 3,
including the space.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31,
22,
yeah, plus plus whatever is added. So approximately so. Number of characters. Okay, so let's repeat that for file 2. What is how many characters? The number of bytes contained in file 2 right now?
0.
Nothing.
Okay, let's add something. To add something, the command is echo. What do you want to add? What do you want to add? All right, and then you put it. That's the sign to put in file 2. All right, we do ls -l. You are going to see that file 2 now contains 24. All right. So now you know the command touch, and you know the command echo.
And cat.
All right. Sorry, cat. Yeah, you know the command cat. Yeah.
Yeah, please. Cat, what does it stand for? I know echo means to put something in the file.
Okay, let's do it. ls -l. Let's cat file 1 or file. Let's cat file 2. Look at it. Cat file 2. All right. So what's the result? What did we get?
What do you
Can you
want to
tell?
add? The content of cat file 2.
Can we use
Yeah.
the word cat as print?
Yeah. It's cat is like open file 2.
No, it's not open.
Is
It's
it like
give me-
print? Is it
Yes,
printing?
print the content.
Okay.
Like view.
Print the content of the file.
Oh, to see and print the content on the file. Okay.
Yeah. Show me the content of the file. And if you wanted to add one more line to this, what do you want to add? Let's say you wanted to add one more line. Then it will be echo. I really don't know what I want to add, right? And then we want to put it in file 2. We want to add it as second line to this. So the command is, if we do this with a single greater than, in fact, let's do it. So if we now say cat file 2, what do we have?
What do you want to add?
Oh, sorry, it's file 1.
File
Yeah. All right. So this is whatever was in file 1 has been replaced with this.
It's overwrite it. Yeah.
Yes. That's called overwriting. So, but that's not what I wanted to achieve. What I wanted to achieve was to add a second line. All right. Okay. So let's say that's the first line. And to add the second line, the command will be, I'll put double greater than. All right. So I'll now have 2 lines instead of the single line that I had. So if I take cat, so I retain the old content, but I've added one more line. So this means append, or this means
override.
Overwrite, or in this case, there was even nothing there in the first place.
So if we use the the sign for a particular file. So whatever it is inside the file previously will be overwritten by the new thing that we wrote.
Yeah, if you use this, yes.
Use a single
Yes.
sign, that is.
Yeah.
The single one. So
Yeah.
irrespective of what we wrote there before, if we put it again on the same file, it automatically deletes the other contents before.
Yeah, you said that many times. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a way
But
to
this one
recall?
will add,
Yeah.
like we
Yes.
just saw here. Yeah. Is there a way to do that?
Is there a way to recall what was overridden?
Yeah, there'll be advanced way to do it, but this is just a simple tool for this.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything is possible once you can think it.
So if you wanted to add another statement to file 1, so do we have to add more greater than sign?
No, it's still the same greater than the same number.
Okay.
Yeah. So it doesn't become three greater than sign because there are 3. No, it's still 2. So if we do this, we have added one more. So if we now say cat file 1, 3 lines, and so on and so forth.
If there was
So
nothing, if there was nothing file 1 at first, would we still have to put the greater than sign?
Yeah, if there was nothing in the first place, then this one would just put the fresh content. Single greater.
So we wouldn't need that if there was nothing in it at first.
If there was nothing in it at first, we've done that like 2 times already. This is the sign to use.
Right.
Yes. But once you have something and you want to append, then you use this. But if you have something and you want to replace, like somebody pointed at, then. All right, so now you know how to create a simple file using Torch text cat. The next thing is to take you to the text editor. Another way to do this, these are simple ways to do it from the CLI. Another way to do this is to do, what are we doing? VI. Out of the 3, this is, okay, we could start with Nano. Nano, then what's the name of the file you want to create? Let's say file
1.
Yeah, we've had so many files. Let's say file 17. So this one, you can create your file. Type whatever you want to. Type whatever. And then once you are done, can you see this? Control X to exit. And Control O to write. So once you are done typing, hold down Control and say O, and then press Enter, and then Control X, exit. If you now do ls -l, you are going to see that you have file 17 that you just created, and exactly what you had here. So if you say, show me, print the content of cat 17, of file 17, I'm going to show you exactly what you type whatever you want. So that is one more way to create and edit a file. So if I decide that I want to edit this file, this is not what I want, all I just do is go back to Nano, file 17, and then I continue from where I stopped. It allows me to continue. That's called editing. I can now say, okay, I didn't mean to type this, or I want to change this, or I want to add one more. That's like you're using your word processor. You can modify and change, modify already means change as often as you using the text editors. And what are they? They are Nano, VI, and Vim. They are basically the same thing. They are text editors. It just depends on which one are you most comfortable with. Right? So now that we've modified this file, we'll still save. How do you save? Control O. Look at it here. You don't have to memorize it. You write. To save is Control O. Hold down Control, press O, and then you press Enter for that name. You are done. So Control X.
We don't. I didn't get that, sir. O.
You didn't get one.
You mean
Control
the letter
O.
or Control O?
Can you see this?
Yes.
Yeah, that's O. This letter here, O. And then this one is X, right? Can you see this X?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Control X.
So yeah, Control X. So I hold
Okay,
down
so
Control and I
the
press.
sign opposite the X means control.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. So Control X, I'm done. So if I do ls minus l and I cut my file 17, I'm going to see that the changes that I made there are reflected. So that's how to edit the file using Nano. All right, so you are learning Linux command. By the time you do, 10 more classes like this, you would have become a Linux system administrator.
Mr. King, it's not as easy as you were saying it to rebuild.
It's easy now, there's nothing there. It's
It's
just
not
maybe it's
easy.
your first time. By the time you reflect on this, watch the video like 2 times, everything will make sense. More sense than it's making now.
Right.
Yes. Yeah, I'll relax on the introducing new commands now. We'll just revise what we've done so far. Yes.
So I got a question. In a real world, what are we going to do with all this? Just put it in practice.
Yeah, just practice them because you need them in the real world to use your language. Yes.
And sorry,
Just
you
be
wanted to talk
practicing them.
about the VI.
Yeah, we'll talk about that next time. We've learned enough commands for one day so that you don't blow your head. So these are the tools that you need on a daily basis. Every day, these are the things you just be doing unconsciously, like you don't even know you're doing. Just do them regular. As for how,
So we should just log on our Linux and try to create files, add files, and yes, okay.
Yes, just follow your notes and follow those steps to repeat those steps. Maybe you already looked at your note and it didn't make sense, but if you go back to your note now, at least the first 3-4 pages will make sense. Just practice. All these things are already there, just practice.
That is true.
And by the time we are done with the class, the whole note will be demystified. It will become, All right, so for where we do need to make directory and create files, don't worry, it's a 1 month training. We just started only today, so they will make more sense as we progress. But these are like learning 1, 2, 3, 4. So that by the time we now ask you to write 3,427, you already know units, tens, hundreds, and then you know how to write, combine all the letters, all the numbers to form the number I want you to form. Or learning A, B, C, D, so that later if we say spell go, you can put G and O together to spell. All right. Anything you need us to revise?
Let me ask this question, Coach.
Yes.
So I know it's probably for much later, but is there any point we might need to deploy at some point? The whole pipeline?
To deploy what?
Is there any point we need to deploy anything on what we're doing?
Deploy is wide. Deploy, you mean within Linux?
Yes, within Linux.
No, there's nothing to deploy in Linux.
Okay.
There's nothing. Linux is just the tools that you need for future deployment.
Okay.
But there's no, no big deal with no big task to complete in Linux. But from AWS onwards, yes, there will be projects. There'll be projects from AWS onwards. But with Linux, just learn the tools, and then you'll now be using the tools when you get to this.
Just to familiarize with this and memorize it, so we stick, so we can use it when we move forward.
Yeah, just learn this command, because without these commands, you don't even know what to do when you get to the courses.
Yeah, it's more like a foundation.
Yes.
Every other one is built.
Correct.
Yeah.
So this is not where the deployment is. No, this is just but you need this tool to deploy later on when we get to the deployment. All right. Yeah, more questions?
How many different commands are there? About
150, thereabout.
Okay.
150, yeah. maybe a bit less, maybe a bit more. But out of that, the ones you really should know and use frequently that you will need in order to feel comfortable in your daily operations as a Linux person, maybe 70, 80.
Okay.
Then the remaining, you just know them at the back of your head so that when occasions demand, I know what to do here. At least you can now Google it or look at your notes to see, okay, I've not used it in a while. And then come back.
And as far as the Mobax term that you're using for Windows, what would you say is probably the best one to use for Mac?
Somebody already shared it. It's in the notes. What's that name in? Tamius. That's the name.
Terminus. Okay.
Tamius. So it's already in your notes. The URL is already there. Just click it and then it will take you there.
Okay.
But again, all of these are just present. By the time you enter IT proper, you realize that these are just toys for beginners. The real thing you'll be using.
Is it going to get much more difficult as we go on?
Well, difficult is not the word, but you'll be exposed to many more different kinds of tools that would replace. For example, in place of mobile stem and Tamius, you'll probably be using Visual Studio, which is more encompassing and will allow you to collaborate with developers from anywhere. This is just the first step. Yeah. This is just the first step. There are so many tools ahead of you to learn, but like somebody already observed, this is just the foundation to help you understand those tools. By the time you get to those tools, there'll be more powerful replacements for our mobile stack. If it's at that level, I begin to talk about 6-figure job. But right now, this is just the first class of a 5 months or 1 month or 3 months training, depending on how far you are going. Yeah. I'm more like a test ground, like a test to see if you can cope with Linux, then you are welcome to IT. If you cannot, then maybe you need one month of additional hard work to really acclimatize yourself and get friendly with Linux before you now can say, come, I'm ready. But once you find this interesting enough, then we're happy. You should be happy to proceed. The others will not be more difficult, but just that there'll be more tools, not really more difficult, but more work in terms of volume to cover.
One question, sir. Back to AWS website, when I was trying to sign up for the Linux server, the way your own appeared when you showed us your screen was different from how mine appeared when I signed up and I put the credit card. It was totally different.
So what stage are you in? Can you see my screen?
From the I can see your screen from the beginning where it says
Did
EC2.
You get here?
No, I couldn't get here. No.
Okay, try clicking this. Do you see this sign? My mouse, my pointer. Maybe you are seeing it in this format, right?
Yes. Yeah, I think this is what I'm seeing.
Okay, so just switch your view on or off this to see it differently. New EC2 experience or the old experience. They keep changing the outlook.
What does EC2 stand for?
What's the full meaning again? Computing. Just Google it. I will just look for it here. Remember, we are not in class.
Okay, I get it now.
Okay. All right. So yeah. So is there any command you need us to revise? So as you practice, like this kind of scenario you are trying to share with me now, we're just taking it because there are no more important questions. Just take a screenshot of whatever issue you come across, post it in the group, and then we'll support you. And some of your guys that are already experienced that are here, like they're already doing, they'll be happy to support you. And then I also will be there. So yes, only by screenshots. Don't tell stories. Just show us what issue you're having, and then that's about it. So Linux is 2 hours for now. When we complete Linux and we'll move to bigger courses, then it will be 3 hours per lecture. But for now, it's 2 hours per lecture. Just to take it easy with you. And then, of course, one more thing. When you are done with your practice, can you see my screen? And you must delete. You must terminate your instances, otherwise you'll be charged.
Oh, wow.
All right. So to terminate your instance, you click the particular instance. For example, you click that. Can you see that? Then you go to, okay. So I'm seeing a different view now. This is not what we said earlier on. This is probably what the person who asked question is seeing. So whether you see the old fashion view or the new one, you would always find what you are looking for. In this case, I'm looking for instance state, and I'll say terminate instance. But let's change the view. Let's come here to this. Can you see my mouse?
Yeah.
My pointer. So I come here, and then I change the view to something more modern. I mean, this something like this. And then I click here. I don't know if you notice the difference, but last time it wasn't like this. Look at where I'm clicking now. So terminate instance. I click that, and you see terminate. This way you can go to bed with your eye closed, knowing that Amazon will not send you a bill for leaving your EC2 home. All right. So if you have more than one, like I have, you select them all at once by doing that, or because I already selected. Let me refresh. Okay, so one is gone already, the one I terminated. So I select this other two, and I say instant state, terminate instance, and I say terminate. All right. My instances are terminated. Even while I'm sleeping, my instances are not running, and then I'm not charged. Next time I want to practice, I just run through the steps one more time to set up my instance. And because my instances are terminated, this place is also terminated because this one is no longer connecting to server and cloud. So it's gone.
What about those metrics that I saw there on your screen?
Sorry? All right, so our instances are terminated. Then if you want to refresh, just to make sure, you click your refresh button, everything is gone.
Yeah, I was asking about those metrics.
We're not in AWS now. We're just borrowing AWS server to learn.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
This is not AWS class. When we get to AWS, we'll learn everything within there. All right. All right, guys. If you have questions, I'm happy to stay here for another 1 hour to take them. But if you don't have questions, I'm happy to let you go so you can go log on to create your own AWS account and start to practice. Our next class will be on Wednesday, 6 p.m. Texas time.
Okay, good night.
Thank you, everyone.
Well, thank you, Coach. Nice one. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thanks, Prof.
All right, guys. So,
I've just been able to open the EC2 and launch my own Linux. So
yeah, that's good. So start to practice now.
Mr. Akin,
So
to walk through AWS.
If you can send the recordings to the group chat.
Yeah, that'll be ready in at least 2 hours. It takes at least 2 hours to download successfully.
All right. Thank you, sir.
So once it's ready, I'll post it on the forum.
All right, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, no problem. All right, guys. See everybody later. So.
Hello?